The decision the family had to make was one of the hardest choices they'd ever faced. Rocky, their faithful dog, had been with them for 15 years. He wasn't just a pet, he was family. Over the years, Rocky had been a constant companion, and his loyalty had never wavered. But now, at 15 years old, his health was failing, and they could see the toll it was taking on him. It was clear that Rocky had lived a good life, but the time had come to decide what would happen next. The family could see how tired he was, how much he was struggling to get through each day.
I know you understand, don't you, boy? It's hard, but we'll get through this together.
Stay right behind me.
As they
Use the
gathered
shield
together, they realized that they needed to have a
Quick,
serious
press L.
conversation about the future. The
Okay,
children,
look, I
who were
did it.
nearing the
You
end
two
of their
go ahead
school
and spend
year,
some time
were
with her.
distracted by the usual end-of-year festivities, half-days, movies, and games at school. But at home, the reality was that Rocky was struggling more than ever. They had already made the decision to speak with the vet, but now they had to decide how they wanted Rocky's final moments to unfold. They all gathered around, watching Rocky move slowly through the house. The thought of putting him down was heartbreaking, but they knew that letting him suffer wasn't fair to him. Rocky had been with them longer than anyone else in the family, and the thought of losing him was incredibly painful. The family discussed their options with the vet.
Well, look what the cat dragged in. You are absolutely wiped out, aren't you?
The idea of taking Rocky to the vet for a quiet, peaceful goodbye seemed like the right thing to do. They could be with him, surrounded by love, as he passed away peacefully.
He's so excited.
All right, buddy, up you go.
It's okay, you can bring him right over here.
We're going to make sure he's comfortable now. We need to monitor him closely overnight before surgery.
The next 24 hours are critical, but we are doing everything we can.
Based on the x-rays and the exam, it looks like we're dealing with severe arthritis. Let me explain the treatment options. I know you're worried. I'm hearing a slight murmur, but his breathing is stable. We'll run some tests. Eyes look good, nice and clear. Now let's check these ears gently. You're being very brave.
I have good news about the Beagle. He made it through the procedure and is resting comfortably.
I'm truly sorry to have to tell you this, but unfortunately, we weren't able to save him. He passed peacefully.
There was no doubt that Rocky had fought for them for so long, but now it was time to give him the peace he deserved. They also considered the alternative, letting Rocky pass on his own.
Thank you for everything. I'm gonna miss you.
It's okay, buddy. We're right here.
We love you so much.
Remember when he chased that squirrel up the oak tree?
Oh, he was so
But they knew that was a decision driven by their fear of letting go. It was selfish to keep him alive, just to avoid the pain of saying goodbye. They didn't want to see him suffer anymore.
Thank you for the companionship.
After much discussion, the family made the decision that felt right. They would let Rocky go peacefully, with them by his side. They all agreed that it was the best choice, even though it was the hardest thing they had ever done.
You were the best dog. Thank you for everything.
They took Rocky to his favorite spot in the backyard, where he had always loved to play. As a family, they said their goodbyes, holding him close, comforting him, and telling him how much they loved him.
Goodbye, sweet dog.
Rocky's job had always been to protect them, to love them, and now, it was time for him to rest. It was a peaceful moment. Rocky passed away surrounded by his family, knowing that he was loved and cherished until the very end.
I love you so much.
The family cried, but they knew they had made the right choice. Saying goodbye was never easy, but it was a decision born from love, and it brought them the comfort they needed to move forward.
I love you.
Rocky had been with them for 15 years, and they would never forget the joy and companionship he brought into their lives. He was their family, their friend, their rock, and though he was gone, his legacy would live on in their hearts forever.